This is the Range Rover Sport Dynamic HSE. This is the D350, and in today's video I'm going to be telling you if this is the ultimate luxury SUV and do the Germans actually have anything that can compete with it. So let's get into it. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and this week I'm back in Drakensberg. Absolutely love it here, beautiful scenery, weather's really good, and I'm in the Range Rover Sport. Completely different drive than the last time when we came down in the motor, and I'll leave a link up here for you guys to check on that video. But as you can imagine, completely chalk and cheese, right? No comparison whatsoever. The Range Rover was absolutely magnificent and flawless on our trip down here. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoy these types of videos. So from the front, you'll notice that you've got your pixel LED headlamps with daytime running lights. You've got a lot of gloss black finishes around the bottom of the bumper, this front lip, as well as your front grille with your Land Rover badging on them. And then you've got your Range Rover badging running across the entire of your front bonnet. Once you open the bonnet, this one is powered by a 3-liter turbo diesel motor and twin turbo diesel motor, and it's good for 258 kilowatts and 700 newton meters of torque. Mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission, and it's all-wheel drive as well. It is silky smooth on the road, delivers its power absolutely effortlessly, and I never felt like I needed any more power while I was behind the wheel. The vehicle drives so efficiently, right? I was able to bring the fuel consumption down quite a bit. Land Rover says that you'll do about 7.5 liters combined, and I didn't get that close, but we'll talk a little bit about that while we're on the road. All in all, what I can say is the engine is a real peach, a real joy to drive, and a perfect balance between performance and efficiency, right? And really, that's what these diesel motors are all about. If you guys are in the market for a Range Rover Sport, make sure you head over to autoadvisor.co.za, where you can request a quote for this Range Rover or any other Land Rover that is currently available, and somebody from our team will get in touch with you to get you a competitive quote on your next vehicle. You can do this for any car that you're in the market for. Don't forget, AutoAdvisor is a tech company in South Africa, and we're focused on getting our customers the best price with the least amount of work. So make sure you check it out. So from the side of the vehicle, you got these massive 22-inch rims. They're wrapped in this Pirelli tires, and it's finished in this kind of a graphite gray. Looks quite nice, blends quite nicely with the gray finish on the body, and you know, it's got all of these black bits around the vehicle as well, kind of adding to that sportiness that the Range Rover does offer, right? It's also got this red brake calipers, which again plays on that sporty appearance that the Range Rover Sport does offer. The ride was great. I don't really love 22-inch rims on these SUVs, but honestly, in this car, it looks absolutely amazing, and your ride is not compromised at all. It's a really beautiful ride, great suspension on this vehicle, and you know, even with these massive wheels, you don't really notice it much. So coming around to the rear of the vehicle, you got these nice slim LED tail lamps. You got your rear spoiler with your brake light embedded on it. Then you got this dual shark fin with a camera in it, and I'll show you guys where that plays a part on the interior. You got big bold Range Rover badging running across the rear of your trunk, and then you do have some of these gloss black finishes around the bottom of your bumper. This one's got an electrically operated tow bar with 3.5 tons of towing capacity, and then you got an electrically operated boot. And then here on the side, you can close your tow bar. You can also drop your rear seats to expand on the storage space. So with the seats up, you get about 640 liters of storage space, and with the seats dropped down, opens up to a whopping 1,400 liters of storage space. You get a full-size spare tire, so thank you very much, Land Rover. And then you also can adjust your suspension or your ride height from here. And then you got some hooks, some storage, 12-volt socket. So quite a nice size boot, ideal for the family, and that's where the Range Rover plays its part, doesn't it? So jumping into the back of the Range Rover Sport, and it is super comfortable, quite a bit of leg room and headroom for me. I'm 1.8 meters tall. You've got quite a bit of storage on either side of the door, and then you also have some storage behind each seat, dual climate control and heated and cool seats. You've got 2 Type-C ports and a 12-volt socket, ISOFIX in the rear. You also get some of that sunroof. You got some vents up here with some lights, and then you've also got 2 cup holders here, as well as some additional storage. Very comfortable space to be spending your time. Not a lot of complaints for the rear passengers, and really much a Range Rover wherever you're sitting, right? Plush, comfortable, and really ready for those long distance trips. So jumping into the driver's seat of the Range Rover Sport, it really is quite a cockpit, right? Beautiful leather wrapped steering wheel. It's got this kind of tan black with some of these kind of aluminium or chrome kind of detailings on them, and it's continued throughout the entire vehicle. Obviously this tan finish, kind of two-tone with this denim around the door pads, etc. And then obviously all of this black leather really does feel very premium, right? And quite a comfortable space to be spending your time. Not a lot of piano black in here, just around here, which I quite like. Something different, and you know, just kind of makes a Range Rover stand out from the crowd, right? Even around your door panels and stuff, all the way down to the bottom here, the build quality feels pretty much very premium, and almost any piece of the vehicle that I've touched so far all exudes a touch of class, right? And it feels really well put together. You've got this massive panoramic sunroof, electrically operated seats all around, even the rear. You've got heated and cool seats all around, even the rear. You've got your child lock on this side, which is something I've been making quite a bit of use of. So you can lock your doors and the windows from the driver's seat, which is quite welcomed. And then you've got door locking controls on every single door. So all around the vehicle, there's these door lock buttons where you can lock the door pretty much whether you're in the front, rear, anywhere. And in South Africa, I think that's such a valuable kind of feature, right? Something so simple, but so valuable. And I really like that they have it on here. You got big storage here on either side of the door. So quite a bit of space, electrically operated column. And then on your steering, on the left-hand side, you've got some of your media unit controls and your instrument cluster controls. And on the right-hand side, you've got heated steering. And then you've also got your cruise control settings, adaptive cruise control, all of that stuff is controlled from there. You've got this 13-inch media unit, which is touchscreen. And one of the biggest things I'm noticing is that obviously all your aircon controls and your driver modes that were now previously available, you know, at the bottom here, are now all embedded in your media unit, right? Pretty seamless to use and quite easy to use. I like these little like shortcut buttons that they have along the side of the glass. And even though I haven't been in a Range Rover for quite a while, I think the last time I had the old Range Rover Sport was almost a year ago. And you know, that one still had all the old layout. So I pretty much picked up on it quite quickly, right? So it was quite intuitive and easy to use, and I didn't really have too much of a problem finding what I was looking for. The vehicle has a really good spec. So you've obviously got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and all of that stuff. You've got quite a bit of 4x4 modes. You've got low traction control. You've got terrain modes. You've got adaptive off-road cruise control. You've got a host of driver assistance programs, so steering assist, lane departure warning, collision avoidance, you name it, right? And you know, the reality is that this vehicle, from a safety and driver assistance point of view, it's pretty much got everything that I could possibly want. And air quality also is available, you know, in this Range Rover. So it actually monitors the air quality on the exterior and the interior, making sure that it adds a couple of years to your life and letting you know that, you know, it's sifted out the kind of the dirty air coming into the vehicle and only offering you that purified air quality. You've got ambient lighting, you've got park assist, you've got pretty much everything you could possibly want, right? You've got 3 ports in the front. So you got 1 Type-C port here, you got wireless charging, you got 2 cup holders here in the front, and then you got a little storage area below it with another Type-C and a Type-A. And then you've got refrigerated cooler box here, so you can probably put about 4 little Valpre bottles in there. And you know, just quite a lot of storage in here. So you've got this little cubby area above your cubby, and then below it you've also got your cubby as well. And even within the cubbies, everything feels really premium, right? Got this nice kind of finish on the interior, on the sides of the doors. I mean, the seats are also so lovely, so comfortable, and you know, really absolutely nothing for anybody to be complaining about when you're sitting in the front seats of this Range Rover. And then you've obviously got this digital instrument cluster, which is quite customizable, got quite a bit of functionality in it as well, which is controllable from your steering. And then you got your pedal shifters behind your steering wheel as well. And yeah, I quite like this new updated design, this kind of minimalistic design on the interior, and still very much a Range Rover, and really no complaints from me in the driver's seat. So let's get on the road, and let me tell you what it's like to drive the Range Rover Sport. So let's go. So on the road, the Range Rover Sport has been an absolute treat to drive. I think, you know, you really appreciate it for what it is once you get behind the wheel, right? And I think the power delivery in this vehicle is just absolutely beautiful. This combination of this diesel engine with this automatic box and all-wheel drive pretty much felt like I can go anywhere and I can do anything. And, you know, I think that's what Range Rover is all about, right? And you can go anywhere, you can do anything, and whether it's the performance or the off-roading capability, you've got everything kind of neatly packaged for you in this Range Rover Sport, and without compromising anything in terms of luxury, technology, build quality. And you know, those were the kind of the key things that stuck out for me while I was behind the wheel. Now on our trip down to Drakensberg, you know, quite a bit of open road. I was able to kind of open the vehicle up to some extent, and it performs just flawlessly. I didn't really feel the need that, you know, the vehicle was struggling, or it didn't feel underpowered, even with a full load and a lot of bags, you know, a lot of stuff for the kids and food and all of that stuff. I think it delivered exceptionally well, and that's something I really can't fault the car on, right? I think in terms of the handling, you know, a big vehicle like this here, 5 meters long, 2.2 meters wide, going into the corners can be a little bit scary, right? So I wouldn't say that I kind of shoved it into the corners. You could feel that it does have and it can handle the corners, but you know, this is not what I'm buying the vehicle for, what I'd be interested in if I had the vehicle. I'm glad that the performance is there, but I'm not purchasing a Range Rover to go aggressively into corners, right? It's more about cruising, having the space, having all the luxury and your needs, and you know, still having some sort of an efficient engine and the performance also to match it, right? More than enough charging ports. The build just is, it's really proper. I think that's another area where it's like just a notch above the Germans. You know, the Germans, some of their parts are questionable, and you know, they'll always nick it into like the little, like, you know, this down area here at the bottom of your storage. So here, pretty much everything that I've touched in this vehicle feels really, really well put together and feels really premium, right? And I quite like that. So you are paying a bit more of a premium price, but yeah, it feels premium throughout, and you've got that 4x4 capability, right? Which is something that the Germans also lack. So I think Land Rover have carved out a niche for themselves, right? In terms of storage, I mean, it had 600 liters of storage space, but honestly, with my family, we were still stuck a little bit for storage. You know, I think when the kids and my wife see a big vehicle like this here, they think we can just take anything we want to take. But even still, with everything here, the boot was pretty full, right? And yeah, I think going back would be a bit better. And we came to self-catering, so we had to bring food, etc. So, but I think quite a decent sized boot. If you're obviously dropping the seats, there's more than enough space. But that's 600 liters for an extended trips, you know, chalets, etc. I think you can pack a little bit better than we packed. I was just kind of, you know, haphazard about it, not too worried about space, knowing that we were in the Range Rover, and I think it did a good job, right? When it comes to, you know, the levels of comfort and practicality, I think the Range Rover is phenomenal, right? It's extremely comfortable, extremely practical on a day-to-day with its fuel consumption, etc. You've got everything that you could possibly hope for in here, and you know, I really enjoyed driving it. And I think all of the technology, the safety features, the driver aids, all of these things just take off a lot of pressure off of the driver, right? Making your drive so much easier. You don't feel like you're completely drained when you reach your destination, because yeah, you've had so much of the assistance of, you know, all the driver aids, everything playing a part to kind of make sure that you're getting to your destination with as little effort as possible on the driver's part. And you know, I quite like that. The active steering assist with the lane keep, and you know, all of the controls, I always knew was there, but you know, only when you're on the highway do you really get to appreciate everything kind of coming together, and you know, allowing you to, I wouldn't say not be focused on the road, but not as focused as maybe you would have to be in a car without all of this technology, right? But in terms of the levels of comfort, the seats, etc., I think it all just, yeah, it really was a phenomenal ride, and I really enjoyed it, right? When it comes to the off-road capabilities of this vehicle, very capable off-roader. I mean, it's got all of the functionality within it. I haven't used it much. I've just been on a little bit of dirt and a little bit of gravel, and you know, on the way here to the berg, the roads are a lot of potholes, etc. So I think it performed really well, and I think in large part thanks to that dynamic air suspension, right? You can just hear this thing kind of going and adjusting wherever you are, and I think that really is a big part of why this vehicle is so comfortable. I think that dynamic air suspension really is a game changer, right? And you know, a lot of cars have air suspension, but I haven't seen the dynamic air suspension before, and I think this one really kind of ticks those boxes for me, and that's why it feels so amazing on the road, right? Because it's literally identifying what the road is like and then changing your suspension and setting it up for the optimal driving experience, which is something I quite enjoyed. And yeah, I just think it did a really great job on the road down here, and you know, even on the little bumps and the little dirt, I think the Range Rover has done phenomenal. So rest assured, you know, if this is something you're looking for, whether it's a daily drive for the long distance trips, or you know, just doing the school runs, I think the Range Rover kind of ticks every box you could possibly hope for. And if you are willing to part with that 2.4 million rand, rest assured that, you know, you won't be disappointed. I appreciate that this is kind of the midpoint in the range, but I still think I'll be sticking to this model, right? And I think the D350 really is phenomenal. I don't know whether I would be taking the mild hybrid or the plug-in hybrid. Being here in Drakensberg, there's no charging points or anything around me, so I wouldn't have used the plug-in hybrid, you know, as much as I would have wanted to. And that's why I think this D350 really does a fantastic job. All right, so let's just talk about the competition. You've got the Mercedes-Benz GLE. That starts at about 1.9 million, and I'll leave the link up here for you guys to check out our recent review on the GLE 300D. And then you've got the BMW X5, which starts at about 1.7, 1.8. You've got the Audi Q7 starting at about 1.6. And then you've got the Volvo XC90, and we recently drove that, so I'll also leave a link for you guys to check that out. Additionally, I'm going to be adding in the Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon because that is the only model from all of those competitors that actually has full 4x4 capability, right? And this Range Rover is a luxury 4x4 SUV. So that's one of its differentiators from the Germans. And in addition, you know, it's also got this, just a notch above the Germans. It makes you feel very important. I can tell you that much. It gets a lot of attention. It drives absolutely beautifully. And, you know, I think these are the ways that the British have kind of differentiated themselves from the Germans, right? And the Swedes, to be honest with you. And you know, when you drive it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But you know, the price difference is quite negligible. So you know, let's talk about pricing for this Range Rover Sport. There are 3 engines within the range. So you've got the petrol, you've got the diesel, and then you've got the plug-in hybrid, right? So you can get into the range with the petrol mild hybrid, which comes in at about 2.1 million, and then you can get this diesel D350, and then additionally at the top of the range you've got the petrol plug-in hybrid, right? So I think the reality is that it's a little bit more expensive than the Germans, but it does have some key things that the Germans don't offer, right? Like 4x4 capability. And I mean, the G-Wagon comes in at over 3 million Rand, right? So that's a little bit more expensive than the Range Rover. But the reality is that, you know, even this D350, which is priced at about 2.4 million, I think it drives absolutely beautifully. And, you know, it's got good power delivery. Gearbox is really smooth. The ride is so comfortable. And this air suspension, you know, adapting to the way the road is, really works flawlessly, right? And you know, it just sucks up the road so well. And I think the Germans obviously got a problem here, right? Because it's only slightly more expensive than the GLE, X5, etc. But you're getting full 4x4 capability. You're getting a build that's a notch above the Germans, and you got more street cred, right? Because I mean, hello, it's a Range Rover. So the reality is that the Germans do have something to worry about. And if you are looking to spend around the 2 million Rand mark, I highly encourage you to go and check out this Range Rover Sport. And yeah, even the mild hybrid coming in at about 2.1. And then you've obviously got the range topping, what is it? The SV Autobiography 2 or something like that there, which is like 4 million Rand, V8, some crazy numbers. And that's the range topping Range Rover Sport. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please do make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoy these types of videos, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Let me know in the comments below, are you taking the Range Rover Sport or are you taking one of the other competitors, Swede or German? Let me know. Cheers.